Hey everybody, it's lovely to meet you. My name is Michelle. I hope you're keeping as fit and as well as possible during our time of lockdown. It's not an easy time for a number of us, both mentally and physically, because our routines have changed and life is very different to what we used to. It's just not quite the same. But the one thing that I have found really helpful is to keep moving through this period. It doesn't need to be setting new records, but it's just keeping some muscle tone, keeping a little bit conditioned and keeping our bodies moving. They're always grateful for that. So today I'm going to take you through a lower body conditioning class. It's low impact because I'm a great believer in protecting our joints. Working on form, quality over quantity is always really important for me. So I've played sports competitively from a young age and I've had a number of injuries, so I'm very mindful of protecting my joints because they're probably not in such a good state as they should be. So I hope you enjoy today's workout, and yeah, let me know your feedback, and good luck to all of you that have got challenges up and coming. I'm sure you'll absolutely smash it and do yourselves proud. I'll come up with my demos for today's workout. I would suggest to set a timer for 40 seconds of work and then 20 seconds off. You've got 6 exercises, and I would suggest if you're doing it just as a conditioning on top of something else, maybe four rounds in total, or 3 to 4. But if you're doing it as a complete workout, maybe up to 6 rounds, whatever you feel comfortable depending on your strength. You can as well add weights into all of my exercises, and also a resistance band for one of the exercises as well. You can do all of them without, so don't worry if you don't have anything to hand. Also, just be a little bit resourceful. I mean, I wander around the house and see what I can find. I've done weights with wine bottles, with paint tins, all kinds of things. So there is no right or wrong. Listen to your body, go for what feels good, and have a little bit of fun and smile at the same time. Okay team, first up we're going to come into a squat knee drive. I'm sure a number of you have already done this exercise before, but there's just a couple of little tips that I'm going to give you just to lower your chances of injury and to really condition those glutes in particular. So just to go through those couple of tips, you're going to come into a squat. So for me, I've had a number of injuries before, so I'm really mindful of protecting my knees. I'm going to squat, pushing my bum away from me and keeping my knees as much above my ankles as possible. So I come down, keep that chest nice and upright if I can, then drive up, squeezing those glutes. Come down and drive up, squeezing those glutes. What I try to avoid, if you can see when I come forward, I come down, I drive up. I don't let those knees come forward, taking my weight out of my heels. My weight is distributed equally so that I really fire up that glute as I come up. So today's exercise we are going to do is come down into that squat. We're then going to drive our knee to our opposite elbow, come down and drive back up again. And then you're going to find this rhythm that you can go for the entire 40 seconds without pausing at the top or bottom. You're riding that wave all the way through, keeping everything moving. If you want to challenge yourself, you can pick up a weight, hold it in front of you, and again, you're doing exactly the same thing. Push that bum away from you, drive back, squeeze the glutes, come up, and then bring that knee to the opposite elbow. Come down, drive up. The key is make sure you stabilize before you come up and drive, stabilize before you come down again. It's not a race of how many squats you can do in a short period of time. It's the quality over the quantity. So really remember your form during those exercises. And I'm fortunate enough to have a dumbbell at home, but if you don't, just become a little bit resourceful. You can always use a paint tin or a couple of bottles of wine, fill up a rucksack, just anything to just bring a little bit of weight in to challenge yourself. So that is exercise number 1. Okay, so next up we are going to come into reverse lunge with a high kick. So from here we're going to work on form again. So from your front forward stance, you're going to come into that reverse lunge. You're going to drop that back knee as far as you can down to the floor without touching it. But the key thing here is the front knee stays stacked above the ankle. So you've got a straight line from your ankle to your knee joint. We're not coming over the front like here and putting weight through a joint. We're taking the weight coming down through those glutes. So when you get into this position, you'll then come up and then high kick to your opposite hand. And then you'll come down, so you're going to do 20 seconds on one side, and then 20 seconds on the other side. So again, you want to remember to stabilize between every move. So coming onto the other side, you come back into that nice reverse lunge. Remember that your knee stays above that ankle. One side you'll find far more stable than the other, and then you come up, drive, and straight back down again, drive back up, okay? If you want to make that a little bit more challenging, once again, you can pick up your weight, hold it in front of you, and then you just come back into your reverse lunge and kick up. But you've not got a hand to kick, so you just got to envisage it being there. But you don't want to do it really quickly. Use your stability and roll an ankle or foot. So remember, engage everything, find your stability, slow it down, and really focus on the exercises that you are doing. Okay, so next up, we are coming down onto the floor for our hip thrusters. So come down onto the floor, find a position. You don't need any equipment for this, but if you want to challenge yourselves, you can use a band and a weight. So I'm going to demo it without first. You're going to come down onto the floor. Make sure you're nice and comfy and that your back is lower back is imprinted on the floor. You're then going to bring your feet in. You want probably just over a hand's distance between your bum and your feet. From there, make sure that your feet are wider than your hips. You're then going to, your hands on your side, down wherever you feel most comfortable. You're going to drive up to the ceiling, squeeze those glutes. Imagine you're pushing out against somebody's hands or a band, and then you're going to roll back down again. Kiss the floor, and then you're going to drive straight back up again. It's really good for working your posterior chain and strengthening those glutes and hamstrings, which is important in all of our exercises. So if you want to challenge yourself, grab a little band. You're going to put it on and bring it just above your knees, so never across your joints. You can then also grab a weight which you can put onto your hips. Come into the same position, so feet wider than your hips, just over a hand's distance between your bum and your feet. Make sure your feet back is imprinted on the floor. From here, you want to make sure that you've got nice tension on that band. You're going to drive up, squeeze those glutes. When you get to the top, just push out slightly against that band, and then you're going to roll back down again. Come down, drive back up, push out, and come back down again. Same as with the other exercises, you want to be rolling on that wave. You don't want to be stopping at the top for a little break or at the bottom. You've got 40 seconds to go all out, so give it everything that you've got on that one. And that is our third exercise of today's class. Okay, so we're moving on to the next exercise, which is a single leg deadlift. This is actually going to be your exercise 4 and 5. So I'm going to demo both of these together. The reason that I'm doing this twice is because it's really important to work this posterior chain. We're always moving forward in life, whether it's running forward, cycling forward, working at our desk with everything hunched forward. So naturally our posterior chain is always the weakest. So it's really important to work it because it's something that we easily forget. So coming into that single leg deadlift, I'm going to do it from the side so that you can see me. You can do this with or without a weight, it's not a problem. Both of them are going to be beneficial for you. So if you decide which leg you're going to start on, I'm going to start with my left leg being the stable one. So I want a nice strong leg grounded into the floor with a soft knee. When I say soft knees, I mean I don't want to hyper-extend it and lock it out. So from there, I'm then going to tilt my hips forward, hinging at the hips, bringing my other leg up as far as I can. I can come down and touch the floor if I want to, and then I'm going to hinge back up again. The important thing here is that my hips stay in line so that I keep them nice and straight. And if that means I can only get to here and come up, that is absolutely fine. What I want to avoid doing is coming down and then tilting and opening them up. It will throw my balance off and it won't work my hamstring in the same way. So rotate round, come down, and then you're going to hinge. Try not to put that foot down unless you really have to. And then you're going to come down as far as you can. If you want to bring your hands down to the floor, gets a little bit more of a stretch, come up and then back down again. Keep this back leg nice and flexed. You're then going to switch over and do exactly the same on the other side. You will find, as I've previously mentioned, that one side is much easier for you to stabilize than the other. So this is much harder for me. That's That's it. And then you're going to come down again. Is quality over quantity. So really make sure that you have good engagement through your core. If you want to challenge yourself and take it up a level, you grab hold of that weight and you put the weight in the opposite hand to your loaded leg. So if I'm loading my left leg, my weight's going to be in the right hand. I just hold it down from my front and then I hinge forward again, bring it down and then drive it back up again. Keep that leg, knee nice and soft, hinge, keep that back leg strong and come back up again. And that's it. So that's exercise 4 and 5 for you. Okay, lastly guys, we are going to come into standing calf raises. It's another exercise we tend to neglect as we quite often just bash out our compound exercises. So you're just going to come into a standing stance, hip width apart, soft knees. And from here, you're going to drive those heels off the ground, up onto your toes, and then hold for a second, and then you're going to slowly come down with control. You're then going to keep moving, so come back up again, hold, and come down. Right, the key here is that you don't want to be going like this. This is not going to do anything. So you really want to stabilize, control, come up, and then nice and controlled down. If you want to challenge yourselves, you can either hold a weight in each hand or one in front of you and do exactly the same thing. But you'll be surprised if this isn't an area that you train a lot to expect that your calves are a little bit sore the following day or the day after that. So again, come up and come down. You may find that you really have to think about stabilizing through those ankle joints as you come up, because it's very easy to lose that balance. That's it, all the way up and down. And that's our last exercise for the day, team. Okay team, that concludes our little workout for today. Don't forget to warm up and cool down and stretch. It's a really vital part of our workouts. It's been a pleasure to meet you all and train you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message on my social media channels. Take care and stay fit and healthy.